So I watched Kpop-Demon Hunters and I loved it. And you know what else I love? Yeah, yeah. You know what I decided to do? Smush the two together until something happened. I decided to draw Huntrix as a bunch of Cybertronians or Camians. Camians? Regardless, Cybertronians, Transformers, whatever. If you haven't seen the movie, it is a wonderful film, wonderfully animated, amazing music that's a little bit of an earworm. I still haven't gotten it out of my head. Yes, if you haven't seen the movie, please go see the movie. I'm not going to ask you to watch all of the Transformers films, just Transformers 1. It's worth it. If you haven't seen it, I mean, like, I don't know, you're missing out. Just a little bit of a warning, there's not a lot of spoilers here because I mostly ramble about the design, but you know, with the design, there is spoilers. But again, if you haven't seen it, go ahead. I had a lot of fun with this. I kind of did this in a spur of a moment kind of thing. I absolutely adored and enjoyed every bit of it. There's a bit of a struggle here, but you know, I had fun and that's what matters. So I really hope you enjoy this video and let me know what you think by the end of it. So when it came to Zoey, I started on her because I thought she'd be the easiest. I thought her design would be something really easy. I don't use the word easy too much. Anyway, really easy to ease into. First of all, it felt like it'd be a really fun design. Second of all, I just felt comfortable starting with her. And I'm glad I did. It was a really good decision to start with her, and I'll explain a little more why later on. When it comes to Kpop-Demon Hunters, I do not have a favorite character. You can't make me pick a favorite character. They're all gorgeous to me. And I'm talking about Huntrix. I'm not talking about the Saja Floppa whatever boys. I can't say that. I love the song Your Idol. I would have fallen victim. And not because I think the Saja boys are like handsome or anything, just because I really like that song. Actually, no, I do have a favorite character. I really like the tiger. They called it Derpy, but I feel like that name doesn't fit. I don't know. I like that character. It's very cute. Very adorable. I knew from the get-go I would fall in love with that thing. The bird's adorable too. When going into the design, I realized I was doing a Kiki Boba kind of thing. So as you can see, Zoey was the boba, Mera was Kiki, Mera was Kiki, and Roomie was kind of like a mix of the two, like a mishmash, the Boki or the Kiba, whatever. I didn't realize until I'd finished that I was like, wait, I perfectly mended the two, and I was really proud of myself, and I'm really happy because that means I was making subconscious decisions to do a certain design choice, and I'm really proud of myself for that, so a little pat on the back. Anyways, I made these three. Actually, there's 4. Keep an eye out, or just wait till the end, because I draw an extra character. A little surprise! It's not that much fun of a surprise, but it's a surprise nonetheless. Drawing these 3 characters was purely fueled by inspiration alone, because I zoomed past all of these. I didn't linger too much on planning them, and I was really surprised with that. But to be honest, that's how I do most of my designs. I kind of sit there and see what works. I went with like barely any planning, but I'm really happy with the results. Okay, I said I didn't do planning, but when I was doing the initial sketches, that's when I was like, okay, so how would these girls like relate to each other in some kind of way? Not familial, but like how do they relate to each other? How would they complement each other? I was trying to do it in Transformers terms, so would I make them combiners, seekers, or somewhat of a trine? For those who don't know, combiners are like 5 or 6 individual Transformers or Cybertronians who like meld together to make a larger bot. So that's like characters like Superion or characters like Bruticus or Devastator. I don't remember any more. They could have been Seekers. So Seekers are these guys. It's Starscream, Skywarp. I mean, there's a lot more, but Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker are the well-known ones. They're otherwise known as the red one, the blue one, the purple one. There's the rest of the rainbow, and there's a radioactive one. But a trine, by definition, is like a group of 3, and the Seekers are often seen as groups of 3s. The connections between the trines are very strongly fanon. I don't know if there's a really strong canon to them. I mean, we see a little bit of it because they're always together. Not always, but there's always 3 of them at least somewhere. We see a little bit of in Skybound. Actually, no. I'm not sure. I don't know. Skybound's throwing me in for a mess. I can't read too much without getting sad. Main Seeker Trine would be Starscream, Thunderwarp, and Thunder Warp. That's a ship name, sorry. The main secret trend would be I was gonna say Thunder Scream. Thundercracker, Starscream, and Skywarp. These 3 losers, and I mean that very affectionately. When it came to the girls, when it came to Huntrix, I realized I couldn't do a combiner. It would be cool, but then I would have to split them up as limbs, and I didn't know how to split a body up in 3. If they were a combiner, their like combined form would be called Huntrix. That's cool as hell. So I could have done it because creative liberties, whatever, I can do whatever I want, but I don't know. For Seekers, I thought it'd be a bit boring having them all have a Seeker frame. I wanted to push the variety just a little bit more than that. I settled with them kind of not being a trine, but all 3 of them had flight modes. Zoey in particular, I based her off of the Cessna 100. Ooh, let me search it up first. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Cessna or Cessna? 172 Skyhawk. So this plane is small. It fits about, let's research that. How many people does it fit? 4. It's a 4-seater. I didn't want it to be a big plane, so I thought it would be cute because it's compact. I felt like just looking at it, it fit her vibe. I'll talk a little more about the other girls later as we get to them. One thing I did love about designing the 3 of these is that in universe, they'd all be performers. So they'd still be like a K-pop, C-pop, Cybertronian pop. They'd still be idols. That meant that their frames didn't necessarily have to be like strictly militaristic, but in universe, being that they're all performers, I could still play around with their frames and their paint being purely fun and cosmetic, so I didn't have to worry about it. So speaking of paint and cosmetics, as you can see, I based off these designs of the how it's done, the opening scene. I chose that because out of all the fits that they do have variety in each of them for the 3 girls, but not enough for it to be like really unique. I think how it's done had really good fits for that, so I decided to go there. It's fun. They still have like harmony with each other, like the colors. There's something still linking all the 3 girls together, but compared to the other fits, I just like these more. I just thought these would be more like fun to play around with. So with Zoey's fit, I really wanted the teal to stick. And you'll see with each of the other designs, they have their own core color that sticks out. So I don't know, I'm just really happy with how they turned out. Actually, you know, recording this now, I really should have made the lines that imitate the lines on Zoey's pants or joggers. I really wish I had a bigger brain back then. I wish my brain was bigger and I could have made it more like those motherboard electronic techno lines that you see. You know, the lines that people associate with hacking and everything, and motherboards and computers. I really wish I did that, because I could either do that or make the Hanmoon lines look like that. They're more organically shaped on her wings, as you'll eventually, I don't know if you can see it now, but you know, whatever. I was also considering, like, maybe that would have been a really cool thing I could have put on Roomie. I could have done, like, circuit board lines on Roomie's face, but I didn't. That's okay. Either way, I still like how it turned out. It's not visible right now, or it's not visible at all, even in the end result, but Zoey has a bit of a visor. I wanted to make it, like, you know, each of them have their own little faceplate difference. Focusing on that area too, by the end of it, I didn't really play around with their optic colors. I just thought yellow looked better. I tried blue on all of them, and I'm like, no, no. I like the yellow because it's more glaring, and I also think it fit with the gold that was like a common theme anyway. Some other little notes: the ribbon that's supposed to be on top of her crop top. You know what? The names of clothes escape me these days. But you know, that little ribbon lining, the one with the like golden swirls and everything. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to zoom in. I'll have to fix it first before I zoom in because I realize how messy it is. I made the lines more techno, inorganic, you know, just a little bit. Her weapons, I will fix that up in post. I think it deserves to be fixed up because I put a lot more effort into making Roomie's and Mera's weapons more prominent. Her weapons are the little dangly bits on the side. They just look like chips. Sorry, Zoey. I'll fix that for you. So overall, when it comes to Zoey's design, it's not my favorite, but I had a lot of fun. And I think I made the right choice starting with her. It got me into the groove of figuring out how I wanted to incorporate these costume designs with a robotic version. I've done this before. I had drawn a Transformer version of Chaperone's Napoleon, like Napoleon fit from that one SNL live. I don't know. It was cool. I liked it. I had a lot of fun. But either or, I'm very happy with how she looks. Alrighty, on to Mera. So this one ended up being my favorite, and I'm really glad I did it right after Zoey, because it kind of brought in what I mentioned earlier with the Kiki Boba kind of thing. The contrast is really like prominent at this point, and it helped me go from one end to the other. Got me going. When it came to Mera, as I said earlier, I sketched her first, but I gave up because I was struggling with her hair. I wrote a few notes like tall, lanky, intimidating. I wrote praying mantis and arachnid. I looked at both Transformers Prime arachnid and Transformers 1 arachnid for a little bit of inspiration, but that was before I looked at the camions. Is it camions or camions? I want to say camions. I looked at the camions from IDW universe for better inspiration. You can't see it on the screen as I'm sketching, but I have another reference up, and it's, what do you call it? It's a bunch of camion designs by Andrew Lee Griffiths. These really helped me a lot. They really helped me and informed me in the direction that I really wanted to go. As I said earlier, I gave up on drawing Mera because of the hair, but when I saw this reference, I was like, wait, that'd be perfect. A helicopter would be perfect. A gorgeous attack helicopter. Isn't that perfect? It's perfect. Like, even frame-wise, I'd look at that and be like, bro, that's Mera. I love gorgeous helicopters. I'm looking at you, world. My favorite, perfectly calm, amazing, sweet, gentle helicopter. So with Mera, I went haywire. It felt really natural drawing her. And again, having the ref really helped. I think she's my favorite because of the hair. It just felt genius. So I was able to keep the hair, keep the shape of the hair, recognizable shape of the original Mera, but also have it as kibble. So if you guys don't know what kibble is, when a transformer transforms and they've got stuff jutting out of their body that is part of what they turn into, like for example, the helicopter blades sticking out of a transformer. So that's called kibble. I'm actually not sure if that's an actual thing in universe or a fanon thing. It's mixing and matching for me at this point. I apologize. The top part, like the bust up, her hair, her face, oh, had so much fun with that. The rest of the body, I didn't pay too much mind on it. With Mera's weapon, I didn't change much other than making it a little more techno, adding a little more motherboard angles and all that jazz. When it came to the coloring though, I had so much fun. The jet blacks and pinks really worked hand in hand. They were very contrasting and it felt strong. It felt bold. That's what I was going for. I think because I was already in the zone, I didn't, especially after doing Zoey's one, I didn't really care too much about making her super realistic to their alt mode. You know, there's sentient alien robots that can turn into choo-choo trains. I don't care. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's still really fun finding a balance. I tried, again, to write in Cybertronian on her chest to replicate the shirt. I had no idea what the shirt said, by the way. I didn't even try to find out. It's barely legible, but at the end of the day, it still looks cool. I had a lot of fun with the shiny bits, as one should. And overall, I think she came out gorgeous. I'm so happy that she screams Mera. Does that make sense? Like, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, that's Mera. I'm really happy with it. And that's my favorite one. Oh, Roomie. So, unlike the last two, I struggled with Roomie. I mean, like, I really struggled with her design. I normally take one sketch and then I do straight line art and I don't even follow the form of the line art. But for this one, I had to do like 3. I was just not in the zone. It could have been because I had spent like straight few hours doing Zoey and Mera, but I was just not vibing with Roomie. And it sucks too because I love her. But when it came to designing her, there was a few like issues I found myself running into. Other than her hair, there wasn't something I felt super strongly about that screamed Roomie. But later down the line, as I started designing more of her and I decided to add more elements, that's when I started realizing that there are shapes that stand out. I just had to look a little more. I feel like being the lead of the three, she had to be a middle ground. So not too Kiki, not too Boba. There's a few major problems here. First of all, Transformers are bald. They're bald. They don't have hair. They don't have long, luscious locks. At the end of the day, I did find an easy solution for this, but I'll talk about that later. Again, as I said earlier, I was struggling to find a look that felt like Roomie, especially her face. So the solution to that was I just covered it up. You know, there's some theme to be found there if you look in between the lines of me BSing my way through it. You know, something. No more hiding, something. After like 2 initial sketches, I realized that for her frame, I really wanted her to be a jet. I wanted her to have a seeker frame. It just made sense to me. I say that, but executing it was a completely different issue on its own. I tried to push through, but the tide was rolling in. I gave up, took a break, I went to sleep. Rather than going straight back into it, I ended up taking a break and I drew this little thumbnail for my animatic that I'm working on. Funny story about that, my program that I normally use to animate everything that I've been editing things on for I think about 5 years, got suspended. And you know what? I'm not paying that much money to get it back. So I am completely relearning everything on DaVinci Resolve. Next morning, flew right back in right after my warm-up. And then I realized that, oh, you know what? That shape I said that she definitely has earlier, she's got a lot of foundational strength in the upper area. Her jackets, the leather jackets that she's usually seen wearing, have a really strong Dorito shape. I'm no professional in this, but when people talk about character design, it's all about the shapes. And as we saw before with Zoey and Mera, it's all about the shape. I'm starting to see this like very strong boxy shape at the top and not that much strength down her legs and everything. That's what I needed. The main elements that I could see were her hair and the square shoulders. I didn't want to make a G1 like super bulky chassis, you know, with the cockpit and everything in the middle and being like, oh, look at them, they're sleek. That's what they are. So I made a variation of the classic Seeker build, and it ended up making her look super majestic. As I did with Mera, I didn't really focus on the legs and below. That's a lie, actually. One thing I love about Seekers, especially when I'm drawing Starscream, which I should do more, I love drawing the Seeker heels. I love drawing them. I love drawing Transformers with heels. It just makes sense. I think it's awesome. Once I finally finished the line art, I was game. I was locked in. I had the motivation because I was in a voice call that really helped me get into that said zone. But somehow, in the VC, we ended up having this like D&D-esque roleplay that we all decided to collectively hallucinate. It was like an isekai adventure where the Autobots landed in our backyard or something. I got to hang out with Jazz. Jazz, you're so cool. Please don't die. So shout out to Mera and Chef for this stellar storytelling. Really got me through those hard times of designing Roomie. So it was pretty straightforward. I followed the design as best as possible, and by the design I mean colors. I decided to just splash him onto the frame, and it kind of worked. I decided once again to butcher Cybertronian. I'm not sorry, by the way. You'll see on her jacket there's like spikes, like really nubby spikes. I did not know how to incorporate that well into her design, so I just didn't. It's just not there. Sorry. Now, the issue when it comes to her gorgeous, gorgeous hair. Let me introduce you to a character. There's this character named Firestar. She shows up in the original G1 cartoon, but she has a special appearance in IDW's More Than Meets the Eye. And if you need to know anything about Firestar, other than her messy relationship with my gorgeous purple queen Nautica, it's that she's got flaming hair. Yeah. Better yet, it can be put out. So unfortunately, Roomie, you're bald. I'm sorry. I saw Firestar and figured I could do it too. It wouldn't be fire, it'd be some sort of other energy-based light source. We'll make it up, whatever. Boom boom magic. I added the hair, it tied everything together, and that silhouette, it was at last Roomie. Again, it's unfortunately not my favorite, but I'm very proud of how it ended up. Now on to the little surprise one that I mentioned earlier. It's not as flashy or as fun as the others, but I still wanted to include him. We got Bobby! Yay! Woo! Unlike the three girls, Bobby has got nothing. And I mean nothing at all. He's got like 2, maybe 3 different fits, and they're all kind of like there. Which, fair enough. He's not an idol. He's their manager. He's their beautiful, gorgeous manager. It's not really design-wise in terms of clothing or in terms of like the kibble and frame I give him. It's mostly just the color palette. I based it off the manager fit he had in the beginning. So, sorry, no fun colors here. I wanted him to be a cute mini-bot manager because... Okay, you know what? It's because he reminds me of Swerve. He's Swervecore. I love Swerve. IDW, more than BCI Swerve. I love you. I think you deserve the world. Anyways, Bobby is a hodgepodge of a few mini-bots from specifically More Than Meets the Eye because that's the only thing I'm kind of basing everything off of. I wanted to give him a visor, so I had to really push and rely on the mouth area and face area to really sell the image of Bobby because nothing else would. His fits definitely wouldn't. He's got these little bits of hair at the end of his mouth. It's a mustache. Why did I say bits of hair? A mustache and a goatee. And I could do the goatee. I could do like a chin piece. That would be fine. But you know what? If Shattered Glass Rodimus can have that thing on his face and Minimus Ambus can have that wonderful little thing on his face as well, then so could Bobby. So boom, I smacked on some magnets there. He's got little tufts of magnets on the end of his mouth. Either or. I realized that his palette reminded me a lot of Tailgates, and I was like, you know what? It's okay if he looks a little plain. He stands out when he's standing out next to the girls. There we go. At the end of the day, I was really happy with how these all turned out. So I went back in post after recording because I was like, I need to render these out. I need to make them look more clean. But at the same time, I realized, like, I don't have to go back and make them clean. I want to, but I don't have to because you know what? As long as it looks good, it doesn't have to look perfect. I think I was scrolling through Twitter when I took a break and I saw this thing. It was like, make it now. You can make it better later. And I was like, that's the one. That's the mindset I gotta keep when it comes to these things. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, that's my combination of Huntrix and Transformers. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, because I certainly did. You guys should do something like this too. Tell me what your favorite one was. Let me know if there's any design... Oh, yeah, let me know if there's any design tips that you guys would have come up with. I will do my best to reply. And watch Kpop-Demon Hunters. And watch Transformers 1. Okay? Do it. I mean, you don't have to. I'd be happy. It'd make this all worth it. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time.